Welcome back. I'm Pratap here. Today is the 26th September 2025. In this video, I'm going to generate different supply demand zone reports useful to the premium subscribers. Even before that, please note we are providing complete free training on supply demand zone price action. And all the training lessons are already available at our NeoStock YouTube channel. I kept all the videos in a playlist and you can find the link to that playlist here. And you can access this post by clicking the tab post at our NeoStock YouTube channel. Once you get this post, click on this YouTube playlist link and it is taking you to all the supply demand zone price action course video lessons. And you just scroll down to the bottom of the page here, starting from lesson 1.1. All the training lessons are placed in an order. So please go through all these lessons one by one, but according to my training instructions. I provided all the training instructions at our Telegram channel. You can find the link to our Telegram channel in this video description. Once you join in the Telegram channel, in the previous or old messages or even in the pinned messages, you can find the training instructions. If you can learn the course according to my training instructions, then it will be helpful to you to become a very good independent trader. Please make use of this opportunity. Okay, now I am generating different supply demand zone reports with the help of NeoStock Software Supply Demand Zone Top-Down Analysis Strategy Builder. First, I am finding the stocks near daily and 75 minutes demand and supply zones. From those reports, we will identify high priority, high liquidity zones, and we will use them for high liquidity zone strategy that I explained in lesson 21.3 video. Okay, for daily time frame, stocks near to the daily demand zone, we got several stocks, 21 stocks we got. Let us identify high liquidity daily demand zones from this list. BSE is having a daily high liquidity demand zone. Next, Havels is having a daily high liquidity demand zone. Next, ICICI Bank is having a daily high liquidity demand zone. IREDA is having daily high liquidity demand zone. LIC Housing Finance is having a daily high liquidity demand zone. Next, OFSS is having, Oracle Financial Services is having daily high liquidity demand zone. Scrolling the list down. Next, PGEL is having daily high liquidity demand zone. Prestige is having a daily high liquidity demand zone. And the last one, Zydus Life, is having a daily high liquidity demand zone. So total 9 daily high liquidity demand zones we identified from this list. High priority, high liquidity demand zones. Okay, next, for daily time frame, stocks near to the daily supply zone, we got 5 stocks. Let us identify daily high liquidity supply zones. So first one is Axis Bank is having a daily high liquidity supply zone, and Keynes is having a daily high liquidity supply zone. So total we identified 2 daily high liquidity supply zones from this list. Okay, next time frame is 75 minutes. Stocks near to the 75 minutes demand zone, we got 11 stocks. Let us identify high liquidity zones, 75 minutes, high priority, high liquidity demand zones from this list. First one, NIFTY Consumer Durable, is not valid because it is not listed in F&O. So ignoring it. It is valid but not listed in F&O. Amber is having 75 minutes daily high liquidity demand zone. Conquer is having 75 minutes high liquidity demand zone. That's it. We identified two 75 minutes high liquidity demand zones from this list. Okay, next for 75 minutes time frame, stocks near to the 75 minute supply zone. We got 17 stocks. Let us identify 75 minutes high liquidity supply zones from this list. Supply is having a 75 minutes high liquidity supply zone. That's it. We got only one 75 minutes high liquidity supply zone from this list. So this is about stocks near demand daily and 75 minutes demand and supply zones for the high liquidity zone strategy that you learned in lesson 21.3 video. Next, we'll generate NIFTY and BANKNIFTY supply demand zone chain reports. Starting with NIFTY, generating monthly supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. So this is NIFTY monthly supply demand zone chain report. In any supply demand zone chain, always look into the zone column to find the high liquidity zones, pierced column to find the pierced zones. Always look into the LTF trend to find the trend of the current time frame you have selected. And one time frame higher is ITF and one more time frame higher is HTF. You already learned those points. And also don't forget to pause the video when you are moving from one report to another report, because I am giving you very few seconds time to watch the reports. So once you study the report, then you can proceed to the next reports. Okay, next, generating weekly supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. Next, generating daily supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. Next, generating 125 minutes supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. Next, generating 75 minutes supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. Next, generating 25 minutes supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. Next, generating 15 minutes supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. And the nearest demand zone for the current closing price is serial number 16. Okay, good. It is in the center of this report. Okay, next, generating 5 minutes supply demand zone chain for NIFTY. And the nearest demand zone for the current closing price is not in this list. I'm scrolling the list down because all are supply zones. And the nearest demand zone is at serial number 33. I will adjust in the middle of the page. Okay. So this is NIFTY supply demand zone chain report generation. Next, I will generate BANKNIFTY supply demand zone chain. I am going back, changing the name to NIFTY Bank. That is nothing but BANKNIFTY. So generating monthly supply demand zone chain for BANKNIFTY. Next, generating weekly supply demand zone chain for BANKNIFTY. Next, generating daily supply demand zone chain for BANKNIFTY. Next, generating 125 minutes supply demand zone chain for BANKNIFTY. Next, generating 75 minutes supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. Next, generating 25 minutes supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. Next, generating 15 minutes supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. The nearest demand zone, serial number 20. So next time frame is 5 minutes. Going back, generating 5 minutes supply demand zone chain for Bank Nifty. The nearest demand zone for the current closing price, serial number 22. Put it in the middle of the page. Okay. So this is a Bank Nifty supply demand zone chain report for 5 minutes. So we have completed both Nifty and Bank Nifty. Next, I will generate sideways bullish and bearish trade setups for monthly, weekly and daily income trades. So starting with monthly income trade, sideways long trade setup, entry time frame daily, entries on demand zone. Here at sideways and daily, I am selecting sideways long, zone achievement violated opposing zone, minimum odd and enhanced score 11 for sideways. So we got 6 stocks and one stock is having a pierced zone. Ignore it. You can use it only for pierced zone strategy if it is applicable as per the concepts learned in lesson 28. Except this, remaining 5 are supporting sideways long trade setup for monthly income trade, and all the entry time frame zones are daily demand zones. And all these 5 daily demand zones, if they satisfy lesson 30.3 checklist items, you can plan the trade. Otherwise, higher chances of zone violation. Okay, next sideways short trade setup, daily supply zone, sideways short. We don't have any stocks. Next, bullish trade setup, daily demand zone, bullish, minimum odd enhanced score 12. So we got 15 stocks supporting bullish trade setup for monthly income trade. A huge change we have. I think yesterday we got 26 or 27. So today many of those zones might have been violated and trend might have been changed, and now limited to these 15 stocks. And all the daily demand zones supporting monthly income trade for a bullish trade setup. And all these entry time frame zones are daily demand zones. And let us identify high probability trade setup daily demand zones from this list. First filter, LTF and ITF demand zone confluence and ITF EMA confluence that you learned in lesson 27. So I am going back, applying the filter in the demand zone confluence by selecting daily and weekly demand zone confluence. With this filter, we got 14 stocks out of 15. In all these 14 stocks, all the daily demand zones are overlapped with weekly demand zone. All these daily demand zones overlapped with weekly demand zone. And it is not enough because weekly trend is uptrend, ITF is weekly trend. We can further filter based on weekly demand zone having weekly EMA confluence. Because weekly trend is uptrend. So we got 9 stocks. All these 9 stocks, these daily demand zones might be having high probability to get success, provide lesson 20 checklist items are satisfied. Otherwise, higher chances of zone violation. We should not forget that point. Okay, next filter, next strategy is LTF, ITF and even HTF demand zone confluence, and after that HTF EMA confluence. So I am going back, removing ITF EMA filter, In the demand zone Confluence, 3 filters we have to select. First one's daily and weekly already enabled. Next, daily and monthly demand zone Confluence and weekly and monthly demand zone Confluence. By enabling all the 3 filters, we got only one stock. So this daily demand zone overlapped with weekly demand zone, both together overlapped with monthly demand zone. And monthly trend is uptrend. Let's further verify if this is having a monthly demand zone with monthly EMA Confluence. Because the trend is uptrend, monthly trend. So it is filtered. So this is having more high probability to get success, this daily demand zone. Provide less than 20 checklist items are satisfied. Otherwise, higher chances of zone violation. So this is bullish trade setup for monthly income trade. Next, bearish trade setup for monthly income trade. Entry time frame daily, entry zone supply zone. Here at bearish at daily time frame, I am selecting bearish. And zone achievement violated opposing zone. Minimum order enhances score 12. Let's filter. We got 3 stocks supporting bearish trade setup for monthly income trade, and entry time frame zones are daily supply zones. Out of these 3, how many are having more high probability to get success? Let's verify. First filter is LTF and ITF supply zone Confluence. That is daily and weekly supply zone Confluence. I enabled the filter, applying on the 3 stocks. We got 2 stocks are filtered. So these 2 daily supply zones are overlapped with weekly supply zone. And weekly trend is downtrend. Let's verify if any of these 2 stocks are having weekly supply zone with weekly EMA Confluence. Both are filtered. So that way these 2 daily supply zones are having more high probability to get success. Okay, next let us look into LTF, ITF and even HTF supply zone Confluence. Removing EMA filter. Supply zone Confluence, 3 filters I have to set. First one daily and weekly already enabled. Daily and monthly and weekly and monthly supply zone Confluence. With all the 3 filters, we got only one stock. So this daily supply zone overlapped with weekly supply zone, both together overlapped with monthly supply zone. But the monthly trend is sideways. Sideways trend EMA Confluence does not give much advantage, so we are leaving this. So this is about bearish trade setup for monthly income trade. Now we have completed monthly income trade report generation. Next I will generate weekly income trade reports. For sideways long trade setup weekly income trade, entry time frame 75 minutes, entry zone demand zone. Here sideways at 75 minutes, I am selecting sideways long. Zone achievement violated opposing zone, minimum order enhanced score 11. And third filter is 75 minutes demand zone should not be pierced. So in the pierced count, at 75 minutes time frame, I am setting minimum value 0, maximum value 0. That means pierced count is 0. Pierced count 0 means this selected 75 minutes demand zone should not be pierced. So now we got 6 stocks supporting sideways long trade setup for weekly income trade. And entry time frame zones are 75 minutes demand zones. So total 6 stocks we got. And you can plan trades only if less than 30.3 video checklist items are satisfied. Otherwise higher chances of zone violation. Less than 20 checklist is for bullish and bearish. Less than 30.3 video checklist items are for sideways long and sideways short trade setups. Because this is sideways long, you have to use less than 30.3 video checklist items for validating our entry time frame zones. Okay, next for sideways short trade setup for weekly income trade, entry changes are 75 minutes supply zone and sideways short. We got 6 stocks. And all the 6 stocks, all these are all 75 minute supply zones or entry time frame zones. You can plan your short trades in these supply zones if less than 30.3 video checklist items are satisfied. Otherwise, higher chances of zone violation. Okay, this is a sideways short trade setup. Next, bullish trade setup for monthly, weekly income trade. Changes are 75 minutes demand zone here, bullish, and minimum odd enhance scores 12. Let's filter. We got 13 stocks supporting bullish trade setup for weekly income trade. And entry time frame zones are 75 minutes demand zones. So total we got 13 stocks. Out of these 13 75 minutes of demand zones, how many are having more high probability to get success? That we will filter based on different zone confluence and EMA confluence strategies that will land in lesson 27. So first filter is LTF and ITF demand zone confluence. That is 75 minutes and daily demand zone confluence. By enabling the filter, out of 13 we got 10 stocks. In all the 10, these 75 minutes demand zones are overlapped with daily demand zone. And daily trend, that is ITF trend, is uptrend in all the stocks. We can further filter based on daily demand zone having daily EMA confluence. Because 75 minutes demand zone is overlapped inside the daily demand zone. And also daily trend is uptrend. We got one stock. So this 75 minutes demand zone is having more high probability to get success, provide lesson 20 checklist items are satisfied. Otherwise, higher chances of zone violation. Okay. Next, strategy is LTF, ITF, HTF demand zone confluence and then HTF EMA. Removing ITF EMA filter. In the demand zone confluence, 3 filters I am setting. First one is 75 minutes and daily, already enabled. 75 minutes and weekly, daily and weekly demand zone confluence. With all the 3 filters, we got 8 stocks. In these 8 stocks, all these 75 minutes demand zones are overlapped with daily demand zone, both together again overlapped with weekly demand zone. And the weekly trend is uptrend, 6 stocks out of 8. So in those 6, let us further filter based on weekly demand zone having weekly EMA confluence. Weekly demand zone with weekly. At the same time, trend on the weekly should not be sideways. It should be uptrend because it is bullish trade setup. So we got 5 stocks, all having a HTF trend uptrend. And all these daily demand zones are overlapped with weekly demand zone. All these 75 minutes demand zones are overlapped with daily demand zone. Both together again overlapped with weekly demand zone. So entry time frame zones are. So these 75 minutes demand zones might be having more high probability to get success. Provide lesson 20 checklist items are satisfied. Otherwise, higher chances of the zone violation. So this is about a bullish trade setup for weekly income trade. Next, bearish trade setup for weekly income trade. Entry time frame 75 minutes, entry zone, supply zone. You're bullish or bearish at 75 minutes. I'm selecting bearish. Zone achievement violated opposing zone. Minimum odd enhance score 12. And 75 minutes supply zone should not be pierced. So in the pierced count at 75 minutes time frame, minimum value 0, maximum value 0. With these filters, we got 12 stocks. In all the 12 stocks are supporting bearish trade setup for weekly income trade. And entry time frame zones are 75 minute supply zones. So total we got 12 75 minute supply zones. So from this list, let us identify high Let us identify high probability trade setup supported 75 minute supply zones. That we will filter based on different zone confluence and EMA confluence strategies that we learned in lesson 27. First filter is LTF and ITF supply zone confluence. After that, EMA confluence. So 75 minutes and daily supply zone confluence filter is enabled. By applying the filter on the 12 stocks, we got 7 stocks. In these 7 stocks, these 75 minute supply zones are overlapped with daily supply zone, both together again overlapped with weekly supply zone. Sorry. 75 minute supply zones are just overlapped with daily supply zone. This is our first strategy. LTF and ITF supply zone confluence. Okay. And the daily trend, 75 is overlapped inside the daily. That's why we are looking into the daily. The daily trend is down. Now further filter based on EMA confluence on daily supply zone. Let's filter. We got 4 stocks. These 4 75 minute supply zones might be having more high probability to get success, provided less than 20 checklist items are satisfied. Otherwise, higher chances of zone violation. Okay, next strategy is LTF, ITF, HTF supply zone confluence. After that, HTF, EMA confluence. So I am going back, removing ITF, EMA filter. Supply zone confluence, 3 filters I have to set. First one is already enabled, that is 75 minutes and daily. Next 75 minutes and weekly, daily and weekly supply zone confluence. With all the 3 filters, we got 3 stocks. So in these 3 stocks, these 75 minute supply zones are overlapped with the daily supply zone. Both together again overlapped with weekly supply zone. And weekly trend is a downtrend in 2 stocks. Let's verify in these 2 stocks any weekly supply zone having weekly EMA confluence. Weekly supply zone with weekly EMA, and trend on the weekly should not be sideways. It should be downtrend because it is bearish trade setup. So none of them are having high probability trade setup zones based on this strategy. So this is bearish trade setup for weekly income trade. Next, we will generate daily income trade reports. First, daily income trade sideways long trade setup. Entry time frame 15 minutes. Entry zone, demand zone. Here bullish, bearish, sideways trade setup at 15 minutes time frame. I am selecting sideways long. Zone achievement violated, opposing zone. Minimum odd and hands score 11 for sideways. And 15 minutes demand zone should not be pierced. So in the pierced count parameter, at 15 minutes time frame, I am setting minimum value 0, maximum value 0. That means the zone pierced count is 0. Which zone? 15 minutes demand zone, whatever we select here. Let's filter. We got 2 stocks supporting sideways long trade setup for daily income trade, and entry time frame zones are 15 minutes demand zones. Next, sideways short trade setup. The changes are 15 minute supply zone and here sideways short. We got 3 stocks sideways short trade setup for daily income trade. Entry time frame zones are 15 minute supply zones. You can plan trades only if lesson 30.3 video checklist items are satisfied. Otherwise, higher chances of zone violation. Okay, next bullish trade setup for daily income trade. Changes are 15 minutes demand zone, here bullish, and minimum odd and hands score 12. Let's filter. We got 4 stocks. Bullish trade setup for daily income trade. Entry time frame zones are 15 minutes demand zones. Okay, out of these 4, how many zones are having high probability to get success? That we will filter based on different zone confluence and EMA confluence strategies that will land in lesson 27. First filter is LTF and ITF demand zone confluence. I enabled this. We got all 4 are filtered, that is 15 minutes and 75 minutes demand zone confluence. And also ITF trend is uptrend in all the 4 stocks. We can further filter this list based on EMA confluence at 75 minutes demand zone. That is 75 minutes demand zone having daily EMA or not, we are checking. So none of them are having. Okay, fine. Next, let us look into LTF, ITF, HTF demand zone confluence and HTF EMA confluence. Going back, removing ITF EMA filter. Now we are setting 3 demand zone confluence filters. First one 15 minutes and 75 minutes demand zone confluence already enabled. Next 15 minutes and daily demand zone confluence. 75 minutes and daily demand zone confluence. With all the 3 filters, we got 2 stocks. So in these 2 stocks, these 2 15 minutes demand zones are overlapped with the 75 minutes demand zone. Both together again overlapped with daily demand zone. And daily trend is uptrend in both the stocks. We can further filter based on daily demand zone having daily EMA confluence. And daily trend is uptrend in both. So both are filtered. That means both these 15 minutes demand zones might be having more high probability to get success, provide less than 20 checklist items are satisfied, otherwise higher chances of zone violation. Okay, next let us look into, this is bullish trade setup. Next let us look into bearish trade setup for daily income trade. Entry time frame 15 minutes, entry zone, supply zone. Here bullish or bearish at 15 minutes time frame, I am selecting bearish. Zone achievement violated opposing zone, minimum odd enhanced score 12, and also 15 minute supply zone should not be pierced. So in the pierced count parameter, at 15 minutes time frame, I am setting minimum value 0, maximum value 0. With these filters, we got 19 stocks supporting bearish trade setup for daily income trade. And all the entry time frame zones are 15 minute supply zones. So the first 15 stocks in the list, the 15 minute supply zones. Scrolling the list down. So total 19 stocks are filtered. In all the 19 stocks, 15 minute supply zones are supporting bearish trade setup for daily income trade. Out of these 19 15 minute supply zones, there could be some high probability trade setup 15 minute supply zones might be available. We need to filter them based on different zone confluence and EMA confluence strategies that we learned in lesson 27. So the first filter is LTF and ITF supply zone confluence. That is 15 minutes and 75 minutes supply zone confluence. And applying the filter on the 19 stocks, we got 14 stocks. In all the 14 stocks, all these 15 minute supply zones are overlapped with 75 minute supply zone. And 75 minutes trend, that is ITF trend, is down in all the stocks. We can further filter based on 75 minute supply zone having daily EMA confluence. So by setting the filter, we got 3 stocks. So these 3 15 minute supply zones might be having more high probability to get success, provide less than 20 checklist items are satisfied, otherwise higher chances of zone violation. Okay, next strategy is LTF, ITF and HTF supply zone confluence and HTF EMA confluence. I am going back, removing ITF EMA filter. In the supply zone confluence, 3 filters I am setting. The first one is 15 minutes and 75 minutes supply zone confluence, already enabled. Next 15 minutes and daily supply zone confluence, 75 minutes and daily supply zone confluence. With all the 3 filters, we got 6 stocks. In all the 6 stocks, these 15 minute supply zones are overlapped with 75 minute supply zone, both together again overlapped with daily supply zone. But daily trend is downtrend in only 2 stocks. Let's verify in these 2 downtrend stocks, any of the daily supply zones are having daily EMA. You should not use a sideways trade setup for EMA. We have to filter them. So in the EMA confluence at daily time frame, I am checking daily supply zone with daily EMA. At the same time, we don't want sideways trades, trend stocks on daily time frame. So I am selecting the trend as downtrend because it is bearish trade setup. Let's filter. So both the stocks having downtrend at a daily time frame are filtered. So that way these two 15-minute supply zones might be having more high probability to get success, provide less than 20 checklist items are satisfied. Otherwise, higher chances of zone violation. So now we have completed all the 3 income trade reports. Next, I will generate stocks near demand and supply zones for different time frames. Starting with yearly. Price closed inside the yearly demand zone. We got 4 stocks. Next, price closed inside the yearly supply zone. We don't have any stocks. Next time frame half yearly. Stocks near half yearly demand zone, no stocks. Stocks near to the half yearly supply zone, also no stocks. Next, price closed inside the half yearly demand zone. We got 8 stocks. Next, price closed inside the half yearly supply zone. We got 3 stocks. Next time frame is quarterly. Stocks near to the quarterly demand zone. We got 2 stocks. Next, stocks near to the quarterly supply zone. We got 1 stock. Next, price closed inside the quarterly demand zone. First 23 stocks in the list. Scrolling the list down, total 26 stocks are filtered. We can further filter this list based on quarterly demand zone having quarterly EMA confluence. At the same time, trend on the quarterly should not be sideways. It can be up or down trend. We got 17 stocks. Okay, next, price closed inside the quarterly supply zone. We got 9 stocks. We can further filter based on quarterly supply zone having quarterly EMA confluence. And trend on the quarterly should not be sideways. We got 3 stocks. Okay, next, monthly time frame, stocks near to the monthly demand zone. We got 11 stocks. Next, stocks near to the monthly supply zone. We got 4 stocks. Next, price closed inside the monthly demand zone. First 17 stocks in the list. Scrolling the list down, total we got 33 stocks. We can further filter based on monthly demand zone having monthly EMA confluence. And also trend on the monthly should not be sideways. It can be up or down. We got 15 stocks. Okay, next. Price closed inside the monthly supply zone. First 15 stocks in the list. Scrolling the list down. Total 20 stocks are filtered. We can further filter this list based on monthly supply zone having monthly EMA confluence. And also trend on the monthly should not be sideways. So we got 6 stocks. Okay, next time frame is weekly. Stocks near to the weekly demand zone. First 16 stocks in the list. Scrolling the list down. Total 24 stocks are filtered. Next, stocks near to the weekly supply zone. We got 4 stocks. Next, price closed inside the weekly demand zone. First 16 stocks in the list. Scrolling the list down. Total 80 stocks are filtered. We can further filter this list based on weekly demand zone having weekly EMA confluence. And also trend on the weekly should not be sideways. It can be up or down. Now the list is reduced. First 16 stocks in the list. Scrolling the list down. So total 42 stocks are filtered. Okay, next price closed inside the weekly supply zone. First 15 stocks in the list. Scrolling the list down. Total 19 stocks are filtered. We can further filter this list based on weekly supply zone having weekly EMA confluence. And trend on the weekly should not be sideways. It can be up or down. So we got 6 stocks. So this is about stocks price closed inside the weekly supply zones. So next time frame daily already generated in the beginning of the report. So the next time frame is 125 minutes. Stocks near to the 125 minutes demand zone, we got 13 stocks. Next, stocks near to the 125 minute supply zone, we got 6 stocks. Okay, next time frame 75 minutes already generated in the beginning of the report. So the next time frame is 25 minutes. Stocks near to the 25 minutes demand zone, we got 6 stocks. Next, stocks near to the 25 minute supply zone, we got 10 stocks. Next time frame is 15 minutes. Stocks near to the 15 minutes demand zone, we got 7 stocks. Next, stocks near to the 15 minute supply zone, we got 4 stocks. Next time frame is 5 minutes. Stocks near to the 5 minutes demand zone, we got 6 stocks. Next, stocks near to the 5 minute supply zone, we got 11 stocks. So this is about stocks near demand and supply zones for different time frames. Now in the final report, let us generate stop buffers based on daily ATR. First 17 in this list are indices, remaining all are equity stocks. So I'm scrolling the list down. Whichever the stock you want to refer, there pause the video, study, and then you can proceed to the further. Okay, I'm scrolling the list down. This is the end of the report. Hope this information will be useful to you for your further study and analysis. Let us all meet again in our next video. Thank you.